to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here, and welcome to another episode of LJV's Monday Night Classic Review, where every Monday night I go back in time and review a women's wrestling figure or figures of the past. Now today we have BattlePack Series 24, Cameron and Naomi, better known as the Funkadactyls. Now these are really cool figures, and they're very actually important in the career aspects of Naomi and Cameron, actually. So with that being said, let's send it on over to Secretary Stase for some facts.
Welcome to my Figure Facts, where I share interesting details on the figure at hand and the superstar themselves. Here are some neat tidbits on the Naomi and Cameron BattlePack Series 24. Released in 2013, this is Naomi's debut figure. This was Cameron's only figure released. They won a Slammy Award in 2013 for Best Dance Moves of the Year. Now back to Mayor Aaron for the review.
Mattel WWE BattlePack Series 24 Naomi and Cameron, released in 2013. This attire is from the July 7th, 2012 SmackDown Great American Bash episode. On this night, they were involved in the backstage shenanigans in this attire, dancing with Brodus Clay to close out the segment. Alright, so overall, my first impressions of these figures, I mean, these are so much fun. I absolutely love this battle pack, and it did come with a disco ball. And I actually just happened to have the disco ball right beside me. It came with a suction cup too, I believe. But yeah, they came with a disco ball. How freaking cool is that? This might be like the best battle pack of all time. Also, it's important to note that at this time, the women included in the battle pack series, also the women's basics, did have the elite style articulation. So we have a lot of articulation here. We also have a lot of effort put into these figures. That's something we don't see a whole lot in the women's main event line. Hopefully we're turning the corner with that. And they're going to start putting more effort and love and attention to detail in the women's main event style figures. But at this time, look how awesome these figures are. I love the attire. I really do. And I just love these figures. And as I mentioned, and as Secretary Stase just mentioned, they are very important figures. This is Naomi's first figure released by Mattel and WWE. And Cameron, this is her only figure, period. And it's crazy to me, but I am glad that we at least got this figure because it's a really cool one. Now, before we take a close look at the likenesses and then go to the body sculpts and the attires, I got to take these in the closet and see how they hold up to the glow test. All right, welcome to Mayor Aaron's messy closet here. Now I have the figures right here, and I'm going to turn off the lights. It's completely dark in here. Let's see how they react to the black light. Okay, not very good. As you can see, the elbow pins have a fluorescent glowing UV reacted paint, but that's really it. That's really it. These don't look good under a black light, just in case you were wondering. Alright, so let's look at the likenesses. So it is important to note that this was before TrueFX face scan technology. It was quite a few years before. So at this time, the faces were kind of a hit or a miss. This Naomi, it does not look like Naomi. I mean, I really don't think they captured her likeness. Up until her most recent Elite, in all honesty, it looks kind of generic there. I do kind of like the hair sculpt, how it's going over her one shoulder, going down. I like the smile, but as far as actually looking like Naomi, not very good. Now, she did have some worse likenesses with her other figures, so I don't think this is completely terrible, but just not very good. Now, moving on to Cameron, I actually love this face sculpt and the paint application applied to the face. I just think it is an adorable little face. I mean, this is an adorable little figure, you know what I mean? Like, I love how petite it is. I love the attire. I love the sculpt they used. And I actually really love this sculpt. Now, does it look like Cameron? I mean, that's debatable, but I see what they were going for here, and I actually really do like it. And I love the hair sculpt, too. I love the unique hair sculpt and how it's a little bit lighter than Naomi's hair color. But yeah, as far as likenesses go, for the time period, 2013, I think they work just fine. As far as the body sculpts and the attires go, I absolutely love the effort that went into these figures, and I love that they each have unique body shapes, body part choices chosen. I really do love that. As you can see, Cameron is smaller in stature compared to Naomi, which is accurate, but also a lot of the parts are different between the two figures. And I highlight that because more often than not, Mattel will get a little lazy and just copy and paste a body, and the only thing different is the head between the two. So I'm glad they didn't go that route with these figures. I'm glad that each one is unique, and it could be a standalone figure that is meant to go together, but it's cool that they are included together in this battle pack, but they both have drastically different body shapes, body part choices, but the attire goes together and looks really awesome when you display these side by side. So as I mentioned, the body part choices are different. Cameron has a much smaller frame, smaller midsection and torso, different chest. She also has sculpting on her top there, as you can see. Whereas Naomi just mostly has paint detail, but the paint detail is really good. We have a lot of silver intricate patterns painted on both tops with little studs painted around the trim or the border of the tops. We have these arm tassels that are sculpted on, and they are amazing. I love how the tassels are hanging down at an angle. It makes them look dynamic. They're not just straight up and down that we've seen on some Macho Man figures of the past. You know, I really do like that they are kind of at an angle, so they're a little more dynamic. We have the attire painted on the midsections there on both figures. And the bottoms are this lime green. Well, okay, so the waistband is a lime green, and then it goes to a little bit of a faded green, which looks like it would glow in the dark, but it does not, I have to say. And then we have these dreaded silver platform boots. I say dreaded because these figures are very hard to stand. However, it is important to note that they do have peg holes, so that's why I have them on display stands, because, boy, they just do not stand without these display stands too well. But yeah, as far as the body sculpts and the attires go, I mean, absolutely amazing. I really love the attention to detail and care and effort that went into these figures. This takes me back to a better time where the women's basic figures or the battle pack style figures had a lot of love and care put into them. Alright, so on the way left, we have that Elite 117 Naomi I just reviewed. I just wanted to bring her out here to compare the likenesses. And you can see what I'm talking about, how the likeness is really, really good on that new Naomi. But her first figure didn't really look like her. Now, this Elite 117 is one of the best women's wrestling figures of all time. You know, it did disappoint me with the lack of glow. However, it is an amazing figure all in itself, and the likeness is great. The likeness way back when, not so good. The reason she is so short is I don't have her on a display stand, as you can see, and that's because she just doesn't need one. She stands perfect. So I just wanted to bring this Naomi, bring her out and compare her to the first. So this is the most recent Naomi, and this over here on the right is the first Naomi. Kind of crazy, the evolution of her figures. So as cool as these figures are, I am going to say that they are not the most inexpensive figures to acquire. So this part of my Monday Night Classic reviews, I go over the most recently sold eBay listings and talk about the prices and whether I think it's worth the prices. Now, this Funkadactyls 2-pack here, the last sold eBay listing of this 2-pack MOC with the disco ball was $74 shipped, which is a little steep in the grand scheme of women's wrestling figures from around this time period. Now, loose, you can pick them up for about $35 shipped, which is still a little bit steep, especially for loose women's wrestling figures from the time. So, do I think it's worth the price? I definitely think the 35 shipped is good. If you can find these figures in good condition, I think the disco ball is cool, but you don't need that. It's kind of hard to display, so I would just try to get these two figures in good condition loose. I honestly would, because the $74 MOC price is a little steep, so I would absolutely get these figures, and I would say that the loose price is affordable, but also worth it in the end. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. And thanks for coming in for another episode of LJV's Monday Night Classic Reviews, where every Monday night I go back in time and review women's wrestling figures of the past. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to have lots more coming every single Monday, but on top of that, anytime a new women's wrestling figure comes in, obviously I'm going to review it right here in LJV. So thanks for watching and have a great night, y'all.